Hey everyone. In this video, I'm going to be doing a product review for the main menu systems for Outface Games. They're one of our subscribers in the community. They've watched the videos on Common UI, and they've actually built this game template by using Common UI throughout it. So all of the features of the UI were all implemented through Common UI, as well as they made it multiplayer compatible. That means it is replicated, whatever terminology you're going to refer to as, and it's made 100% in blueprints. So I think all of those kind of fit the bill on fitting in with this channel. To be completely transparent, they did give me the template for free. However, I'm not being paid for this video. This video is being made strictly out of, I offered that I would do the video for free to just kind of do a quick review. Now, I will be completely honest in the review, so whether it is good or bad, I will be as honest as I normally am. Typically, I do these type of videos on live streams, but I just decided to do a video instead of a live stream, just to make it a bit easier with my time. So, nonetheless, what we're going to do first is I'm going to go into Fab, so we're just going to take a look at the essentially the marketplace and see what's written there, documentation that it's available. And then right after that, we're going to go straight into the editor. We'll test things out, and then I will leave some comments throughout the video. Now that we're at the marketplace, we can see the product. Now it is called the Main Menu System Pro by OG. Now the name is extremely long. Honestly, it's just a main menu system. All of this is just kind of extra. We see it's Outface game right above, so that's perfectly fine. But to each their own, that's just a small thing that I would do differently. Anyways, so essentially this entire boilerplate template is meant to kind of give you this starting menu that gives a similar feel towards how Fortnite kind of functions. You have your different tabs, you have where you can join the squads, you actually get to see them listed on the right side. He also implemented some extra widgets, things like daily challenges, to where you can have them like marked or not marked. Obviously, these are not connected to actual gameplay stuff. You have to set that up yourself. But they do add a lot of functionalities for different types of menus, as you can see up above. We won't go into all of the images because I'm actually going to go into the editor itself to go over these and just what's available. So scrolling down, let's kind of just grab the key points and then go from there. So this is made in Common UI. The really good features about it is the fact that it supports keyboard, mouse and keyboard, and gamepad navigation. So you can use keyboard or gamepad. Everything works. It is functional. That part really, really nice for a lot of people, because I know that people run into a lot of issues with keyboard navigation, especially with Common UI. Now, the other thing is I'm not going to go into every single aspect bullet point because this list is quite long, and honestly I'm not going to read all that. But it gives us a main menu, it gives us a settings menu. You also get a character selection screen. You can customize your profile, which will save and show to other individuals. So when you end up loading and joining parties, you can actually see different icons and names. So pretty important. There's an event screen. That's where you can add any other type of events you have. You can connect to lobbies. You can also join, leave, kick, things like that. And there is a functional chat system. So that part, really, really, really nice. And there's a bunch of other widgets, blah, blah, blah. That's other stuff. And it is made 100% in blueprints and fully replicated. I feel like this part should be way more highlighted than being overall all the way at the bottom, because none of these key points mention replication. And the documentation is really fantastic. So we'll go into it. And bam. So they kind of have a style that looks kind of similar to Unreal Engine's website, at least theme-wise. But if you were to scroll down, you got a list of all the documentation on explaining what everything is, what it does. Some of these descriptions probably could be a bit better with documentation, because, I mean, this is the lobby, but it just says it's a lobby, which, I mean, is kind of bland. Nonetheless, They have some really, really good documentation throughout here explaining what everything is, what it's used, etc. And you can go down through all of it, even how to add a settings. So they show how to do more things with using this, which is fantastic. Because not only do they give you on how it's structured, they tell you how to add more stuff. And the last thing to go over is in Fab. The one point I wanted to mention is that the price is 61.61. I think that's in US dollars, or it could be Canadian. I don't know what my thing is on right now. Nonetheless, the price, quite hefty for those that may not buy things very often, especially when you have like conversion or whatever. I don't know how the marketplace is going to handle that. Nonetheless, I typically don't buy things more than $20. I do think this product is well worth its price. There's a lot of things added. I do think it is like a good template to like start off because everything is structured. Mainly if you are a Blueprint user, because this would save your life so much because all you have to do is tweak it and everything is essentially set up for you. You would have to make things a bit more customizable to your theme and stuff like that. But I mean, you're going to have to do that anyways. It is well documented, so it's really easy to customize. But that price point is quite steep for some. So I just wanted to point that out. I do think it's worth it, but make your own personal choices. All right, so let's go into the editor. And out of respect for the creator, I'm not going to open up all the blueprints and show the logic for everything. What I did want to open up was the settings menu. And what I'll do is go into the graph. And I scrolled out beforehand because I wanted to make sure that I'm not giving away all of their stuff. But I wanted to showcase that everything is well documented. Like if I hover over this comment, he does kind of explain things. And this is actually listed throughout all of their blueprints. And you can tell that he put lots and lots of work into a lot of things. So there's a lot of functions, a lot of everything. Now this is one of the biggest blueprints that he has because this is the settings menu, which means it does a lot. But I wanted to showcase just how much effort actually went into this and documentation. Really highlighting the documentation because I love clean blueprints and the fact that somebody actually put comments in it, because most of the time when people bring things to me, it's like spaghetti and they haven't said a word on what things are. And in the designer, he does separate things. There's certain aspects of it that I would like to change, and such thing is like the switcher options. He actually has all of these individual ones added in. So they kind of just go very, very long. And there definitely could be better ways to handle bindings and such, like over here, instead of having a giant list. But it works. It's functional. There's not really anything wrong with it, but my own personal preference. I just don't like when I have to scroll down and all I see is blueprint spacer. And you do that for like 20 million times. So definitely organizational stuff that I would change, but overall, you do get to see that he is using Common UI, which we see at the top. And yeah, good structure. And when we open up into the main menu, we have localization. So he does support multiple languages. I do think with 5.6, there's some edits to do to kind of fix that, because I think right now it just has English and German. And that's just to showcase functionality, but I believe the setup is there so that you can do more with it. With that, he does separate everything with, well, these animations are just simple stuff, but you have the blueprints, you have the UI, the little maps that he made, input, how we set that up with the actions as well. So everything is available and shown here. So let's go ahead and get into the game. Oh, I had it set to multiplayer, so we're just going to move that one over there because we're not going to focus on the multiplayer just yet. Press any key, and we open up. Now for here, I typically don't have sound on, but sound does work as well when you hover over here, but it's going to be really annoying to hear that sound over my voice. So I have it muted. There are different sounds for when you hover over and do things. So from the start, we have my name, which has already been customized and saved. So when we started the game, we see that my name is already there and available. If I were to hit the menu, technically, if you hit escape, that would work too, but escape closes it, so I'm not going to do that. So it does open up the menu. One thing is the transparency is a bit off because, I mean, it's you probably need the background a bit darker because you can see the background a lot. Anyways, into here, you can change your name. I'm going to change it to Mr. And we'll just change it to this yellow guy and save profile. Now you can either do Alt for back. I think the button should be escape, to be honest. But I think you can click off as well. So by clicking off the pop-up, it actually ends up closing it. So you're good to go. Now we have all of these widgets. We have the event widgets that we talked about where it will cycle through. If you actually click it, it takes it to the event tab. Nothing actually happens here. It kind of just scrolls through all three. But this is where you could do like, I don't know, news, patch updates, link to a website, whatever you want to do. Hey, join my Discord. You could even make these buttons if you wanted to. But pretty easy to customize. Going back over to play. Daily challenges, this is more of like a display thing. You yourself would have to connect to your gameplay stuff. This is purely just to show how functionality would work. It's pretty easy to set up. You just have to do the own logic on how you want to like handle quests or challenges or whatever the hell you want to call it. Now for the dungeon, this is basically your game mode. What type of mode you want to play. And the way that he has it set up is where it will just open up a list. So like different maps that you can go to. The only thing is you may want to change that to like a menu of some sorts. Because like what if you have like different type of game modes or whatever it is instead of just maps. It really depends on the type of game you're making. This is definitely focused on its like specific type of game. Obviously not solo player when you have all of this. But I guess you could if you tweaked it, but yeah, multiplayer focused. And then you can hit play, which will go into the game itself. We also have the chat window. So if I hit the enter button, I could be like, hello, how are you? Pretty simple. If we go into character, we also can click on different characters and then you can just click to equip them. So now that I have Old Manny, I go over here and it's changed. And we'll now click on Quinn, equip that, and play, and done. Now I have made recommendations to him to change what is shown here so that it shows equipped instead of equip. Just so that there's like a slight difference. He does take feedback pretty well, and he has been continuously making updates. Before I actually released this video, he actually made like a couple updates, so I had to like update and then kind of get more familiar as well with everything new that he's adding, because he is continuously improving this. And whether it's bug fixes or suggestions, he's added like lots of features. Like localization is one of the newer ones. So we have the characters. You can also press I to open up info. So if I were to click on all of them, that opens up too. If we go to events, this is exactly where we were before, where you could just scroll through as such. I do wish these buttons were clickable, but I guess you have to continue, so it's fine. Or like arrows on the sides, to be honest. Stats page, still coming soon. Not available yet. Same thing with the shop. I think he's still figuring out what exactly to do there, but those tabs are there for visual purposes. And the other thing to go into, before we go into settings, I'll just show credits real quick. It made me laugh as well, but it does have like this scrolling thing where it goes down showing the credits. All of them just say OG main menu, but nonetheless, pretty cool. Now let's go into settings. He does have a lot of functionality here, so you can change the graphics. You have the overall, kind of like standard game stuff that you see here. Choosing to show FPS or hide it, show latency, adjust the frame rate, geez, English, and just standard video controls. You can hit apply to set changes, and you get a little pop-up there as well. We go to controls. You can also have key bindings as well, so he did set that up too. And in audio, we have UI, ambient, music, and master. So we did set all of that up so you could control that. I typically don't use sound often, and I'm weird like that. So you have the back button to go back, or you could have just pressed Alt. That is that. Let's go ahead and close this out. We'll restart. And now we have our multiplayer. What I'll do is, for here, we'll sit and do open party. Now we have my name, we have Quinn. I'm gonna go over here in my other standalone. Now it does have the same name and everything because I'm playing like off of myself. So what we'll do is quickly, we'll change this profile. We'll change it back to Boutir, and then we'll just make the red guy and save profile. Going into the character, we'll also switch over here like so. All right, so different name, different person. We're gonna hit join. It's gonna think for a long bit, any day now. All right, we'll see my actual name and other info. We'll hit join, and yep, I don't have other parties, so it's perfectly fine to join. And bam, look at that. All right, we're gonna move this off just to the little side, just to, because I don't want to do over editing. And now we have our chat. It says Boutir has entered the chat. What I think would be cool is if that text was a different color, just to make it easier. But now I could actually talk to the other person. So it says my name, it says sup. We're gonna go over here. I see that exactly. Cheese. And then now it says Boutir cheese. So we are actively communicating. Stuff works fantastic. Now I can choose this and hit play, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick this person. Now they're no longer part of the party. And then if we actually were to go to the other one, it now shows them at the main menu. So one of the things that I actually spoke to the creator, he said that because it's Blueprint specifically, it knocks them back to the main menu. So if you wanted them to remain in the party, you just have to tweak some things yourselves. But it does kick them out of the party. All you do is press a button and you're back in. Then we can decide to rejoin. So let's go ahead and do that here. It will think for a bit, and bam. Yep. We'll join. And now we're both in here. You'll actually see that, hey, only host can change mode, so we can't do anything here. When we go back over here, we are the host. We'll change the temple, and we'll hit play. You can decide to just create. And we'll do some loading. All right. So now that we are in here, I had to change focus so I'm on the right window because both loaded at the same time because I'm on the same computer. But now I get to see them as such. I can run around here. If I switch tabs, we're now back to this guy. And we're over here. So multiplayer is working. We get to see their names. We can press tab to see over here. So I can see everything available. If I switch back to Quinn, if I hit tab, I actually get to kick the player. So let's go ahead and kick that person out. And now he is back into the menu. And yeah. So let's go ahead and go back into the main menu. All right. So that's all the functionality. Now he does, within this own chat, it shows, I think, the Discord. So he has his own Discord on this. There is also a bunch of other things available, as well as how to connect it to Steam. There's a lot of documentation information. He does a lot of support for people. I just wanted to showcase this. I do think it is a well-made product, And that's kind of the whole reason I made a video for it, because I don't typically make these. I was not paid to do this, really making that clear here. I just think this is good. This would be very useful to Blueprint users. If you have questions on the product, feel free to either join his Discord, I don't know, buy the product, ask some questions. I do think there's a Discord for people that actually own the product, so you could go that route too. But yeah, thanks for taking a look.